yes, welcome back to Eggwars. I just realized my microphone, I didn't have it up at the right level. It's just a tad short. Beep, beep. Okay. I don't know if that's going to change or not, but fuck it. I don't make edits. I don't do a double take. I don't do a double time, double try. So, by the way, today's intro and outro music switched it up a little bit. Dude I talked to hit me up on Snapchat, goes by the name of Young Jack out of Australia. His SoundCloud, I'll plug him in the description. He's an up-and-coming, fine-tuning his skills, and he's got some mellow shit, so there you go. I wanted to plug his music in for the regular stuff today. And, go ahead and get this set, boys! Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. Happy Thanksgiving to all y'all out there. Some people, Thanksgiving might be over if you're in Australia. I didn't get any on my hand that time, really. That's cool. Or, it might be some different time zones for y'all out there, but, I would have got this uploaded earlier. I had an internet outage all day today, so it's gonna be Thanksgiving now. So happy Thanksgiving to all y'all lovely people. Thank you for tuning in. Good stuff. I'm gonna set it on my chair today. I got too much shit on my fucking desk here. It's piling up. I got my phone, my keys, my wallet. And I got this Funko Pop, which is gonna come into the story today. Today's story. I mentioned it a couple days ago, and I've mentioned it before on streams and things like that, but I figure, there's been times I sort of pace around certain controversial stories I have, certain ones that I know were just kind of crazy, kind of just extra wild, but I thought to myself, you know what, I've pretty much been coming out with it so far. and I want Eggwars to kind of just, sort of document all the crazy shit that I've done in my life and in the last few years especially. So I'm like, alright, you know what, we gotta tell this story. This is gonna be part 2 of my meeting fan stories, but this one is a little bit wilder than the others. This is going to be the time that I had a little acquaintance with a girl who was a little bit crazy. So let's not waste any time. Let's hop right into the story here. So the year was 2015, and it was April of that year. And it had just been, it was right after the whole cuckening situation. And if you don't know about that video is on my channel. Basically, there was a female friend of mine who I'd met on 4chan when I was very first trip fagging and all that in like September, October of 2014, and we had talked on a regular basis, all the way through that fall, through that winter, when it was my birthday. We were talking about hanging out on my birthday maybe, because I'm in Minnesota and she lived in Illinois, so it wasn't like a huge distance, it was very doable to drive down there and, leave in the morning one day and get down by the afternoon, no problem. So, we had talked on and off, and this is just a little if you're not familiar with the situation. So basically, we had talked on and off, and then in March of 2015, she lost her job, and she was very depressed and all this stuff, so I offered to drive down to Illinois and spend some time with her, which I started driving down, and then after a few hours of me driving, she basically posted me on 4chan and said I was going down to meet her, and that she was afraid of me and all this different stuff, and basically blew me the fuck out, totally owned me in front of hundreds of people, and the story... I was basically branded as a cuckold who, even though I didn't even want to, this woman was overweight and was really not attractive. I was not interested in sexual things with her, but so it was right after this situation had happened, and, I was a topic on 4chan for a minute because of this story, and, this female, had noticed, she had taken note of this. And so I can't remember, there was some thread that came up, and I was, talking about the situation, and she was like, yo, what's your email? You should email me. I live near you, and I'm a cool chick, and we should hang out or whatever. And I'm like, well, it really, when I think back on it, it's very indicative of where I was at the time, because, I basically, I used 4chan as, as a total... like friendship replacement sort of thing. Like I used it as like a total social replacement since I had nothing in my life of that sort, nobody in my life like that. I used it, and so like I would often, even before the cuckening and even after this situation with this crazy girl, there was plenty of times where I was like, oh hey guys, you know what, I live in Minnesota. Do you live in Wisconsin? Do you live in Iowa? Whatever. I will come and hang out with you. I'll fucking buy liquor. I'll bring food. I don't care. I'm very, very lonely and I have nobody in my life and I need somebody I want to spend time with. So basically, I was talking to this chick and, you know, it really sort of fulfilled what I was looking for. Not even in like that she was a female. It was just, you know, she lived like an hour away and we had similar interests. She liked anime and video games. And so I'm like, cool, sure, why not? Let's give it a try. We'll try it out. I'll see what's good. Let's just go for it. So we had talked on Skype a little bit as a precursor to this. We had a couple, you know, emails back and forth, get some general information about each other. And so then we took it to Skype and we kind of chatted back and forth. And we're like, okay, well, fuck it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. And I'm not afraid to meet up with some chick because, you know, I'm a dude. I'm a big guy for most women. So I'm like, well, you know, I'm not afraid that I'm going to get shanked or something. So whatever, let's do it. So I drive over and I park and there was a nearby corner store. So I went and I just grabbed some snacks and stuff. And I'm like, cool, whatever. Hey, this is what I'm talking about. Sure, let's go hang out. So we went to this chick's apartment. And she, you know, it was a pretty nice apartment. I mean, it wasn't like nice, but it wasn't like in the ghetto or anything. You know, it was pretty comfortable. So I get there, and I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? And it's kind of awkward at first because it always is when I meet somebody, you know, especially at this time because, you know, I've obviously improved quite a bit in my social abilities. Even in the last year now, I've been able to, you know, work on my speaking and, you know, in my low inhibition to try and break ice with people. So I'm glad about that I've improved. So, you know, it was kind of awkward. You know, I had some drinks and some snacks and whatever. And we talked a little bit and she's like, well, you know, she didn't have a job at the time. She was living on neat bucks, but, you know, she had a job and she was thinking about getting her old job back. But then she was like, well, I just want to tell you one thing, you know, she's like, it's not really a big deal, because she was a little bit older than me by like a year and some change, I think, and she was like, well, it's not really a big deal, but, you know, I do have schizophrenia, but I haven't had any issues with my schizophrenia for many, many years. I've been, you know, I go to regular, you know, counseling, and I take medication, and it hasn't been an issue at all, so I just don't want you to get worried about that. I'm like, okay, you know, okay, you know, I guess, as long as, you know, I kind of, you know, I maybe should have, you know, just, you know, been like, okay, well, I'm not interested in hanging out then right there, but I'm not a bad guy. I guess I'm not a mean guy. I'm not going to be like, fuck you for your mental thing, because I got mental things too. So I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. Hey, it's under control. Hey, not a problem, probably. So sure, whatever. So we hung out. She smoked some weed because she was like, you know, kind of helped her stay chill. I guess she like would get anxiety and stuff. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. So we're sitting around, we're toking, we're playing some video games. It was pretty chill. So, you know, I drive back. You know, I didn't stay the night or anything. You know, we hung out for like a day, for like during the day into the evening, and then I drove back and I was like, okay, you know, hey, pretty chill, pretty legit. You know, nothing wrong with that. So, time went on a little bit. You know, we maintained contact through Skype, and I was like, oh, hey, you know, what's my work schedule this week? Okay, cool. You know, and the way I was seeing it was like, you know, it was something that I didn't have in my regular life, where it was like, you know, I'd work my 40 hours a week. You know, this was after I was banned from my game, from my MMO and everything. So that happened in April. No, that was 2014. Yeah. So I was long banned. I didn't have anything to do on my days off. So I was like, shit, you know, hey, yeah, my days off of work. Yeah, I'll go drive over and whatever. So it was no problem. We hung out a few times, and I believe, you know, first or second time, I think the second time it was, we went to like GameStop, and, you know, she was like getting some amiibos. I got a couple DBZ Funko Pops. Only ones I've ever bought, by the way. Don't neg me for that. I'd never even seen them before, because I've never lived near a GameStop. And I sure as hell am not looking for that shit on Amazon, but I was like, hey, you know, we're there. I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, you know, something to remember our hanging out by, because this is fun and kind of cool and kind of chill. And actually the second and third times that we hung out, I was so inclined to, you know, because we gamed a little bit and stuff, but it was, you know, she just had like a laptop, and it was kind of, you know, it was a lot of just talking and stuff. So I was like, well, hey, you know, some entertainment. I actually would turn off my PC and fucking take all the peripherals, monitor everything, and load it into my car and drive it with me my hour drive to get it set up there. And we were watching anime, and that was all good. You know, I packed a box with all the peripherals in it that I got from work, and then when I would get there, I would turn the box upside down and set the monitor on it as like a little stand, a little table. So it was very chill. I was very pleased with the situation. You know, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. pretty fun. It wasn't a big deal. It was just very chill, and I was glad that I had found a situation like this where I was like, I could see this could have been the end of me even being like a trip fag and all that stuff at this point, because, my loneliness was sort of being absolved by this, and not, like I said, not in a romantic kind of way, but just to go hang out with somebody on my day off and talk to somebody and chill and do something cool. That was like perfect. That's what I've wanted. That's what's been kind of aching me. Perfect. It's all great. It's all gravy. Sweet. So I'm trying to think then. What happened was, I was doing it, the first time we hung out, okay, cool, it worked. Then my next week off work, we hung out again. But then it was into May, and when my weekend came around of my work week, this next time, I was like, oh shit, this was around the time I decided I was going to do the whole Ugly Gang thing, so I commissioned these logos, during my work week or whatever, and the guys, the random people who made these little $5 logos for me, $10 logo, $15, whatever, they finished, and so I get off that, whatever my Friday was, it was like Tuesday was my Friday, because I worked weekends usually. And so I get home and I'm like, oh cool, the Ugly Gang logos are done. I was like, it seems silly looking back on it now, but I was so hyped up about it. I'm like, oh yeah, man, that's so cool. Oh, it's the Ugly Gang. I didn't have anything, I was still pretty, relatively, in my own thing or whatever, I had probably 200-300 subscribers on YouTube, maybe 200 or less. So it wasn't like I was, trying to think of all the way I am now, I guess, in a way of where I'm like, I know what I'm doing and everything's regular. I was very experimental, and so I was like, oh cool, I did my little couple things where I just recorded some random bullshit with no editing and just a shitty auto-tune and put it up. I'm like, yo, Ugly Gang, whoa, yeah, yes, we're coming out strong, we're doing it big time. And so that weekend of mine came around, and I was like, gosh, I feel like, I felt satiated in my social needs from the, hanging out with this chick the last couple times we'd hung out. So I was like, and this kind of goes to also, contributes to why I always have such a difficulty with maintaining social relationships, is because, it'll be like, I'll hang out with somebody a couple times and I'm like, okay, I'm good for 3 months, it's like, but, my mindset was like, oh, well, gosh, I want this time to just kind of focus on what I want to do with Ugly Gang, and I'm really into this, and I want to just focus on YouTube stuff right now for this time I have off. So I think I'm going to push it out. We'll hang out next week or whatever. And she was kind of like, okay, she wasn't really happy about it, because I guess she was just really getting into spending time with me, and it was like, okay, it's fine or whatever. So we did that, and then, still same thing. Once the next time came around, then the next week we did hang out again, and everything was gravy, everything was chill, it was, she gave me a space heater, I think it was. I can't remember why. I really don't remember why, but she just had some space heater that she wasn't using, and she was like, oh, you can just have this. Or it was a fan or something. It was this cylindrical fan or space or warmer. I don't really remember even. A guy who I, used to work with, I believe, I gave it to him because he needed it for some reason more than me. So anyways, it was all chill still. It was all cool still. And, it was no big deal. We were just conversing a lot online. And, but then it started to get a little bit uncomfortable. And what happened was, it was I was nearing the end of one of my work weeks, and we were going to hang out on my next day off. I was like, I worked Monday night or whatever. I would get done Tuesday morning, and then Tuesday, when I got up at 1, 2, 3 in the afternoon, whatever, I'd pack my computer up, I'd drive over, same old stuff, same old business, no big deal. God, my nose, my nose, got allergies going on. Apologize. So, it was no big deal, and it was the day before my day off. She messaged me and she was like, oh, I've just been having these bad dreams lately. She's like, I've just been having these bad dreams, and I think it's because of my medication, so I'm not going to take my medication anymore. And I was like, you know what? That's probably a really bad idea. I would really think that you should probably not do that. I think you should probably definitely continue taking it, because, my mindset at the time was like, I could tell from the conversations we've been having up to this point, like when I took my week off to do whatever, she didn't feel very great about me. Like, she kind of just wanted me to like keep going and visiting her because she was kind of, I guess she didn't really have a lot of social contact either, being a NEET and all. And so she kind of wanted me to keep hanging out. It was like, because she would spend like, while I'm working 40 hours a week, she's, just kind of sitting there, you know what I mean? So she was like really excited for me to come and visit. And so, she kind of, like, I said this, and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to, if I'm going to feel comfortable kind of hanging out with you when, like, I know you could have, like, a psychotic episode because you're not taking your medication. And she's like, well, it's my body, it's my choice, it's, I'll be fine, it doesn't matter. Okay. So I'm okay, whatever. So then the next day, I get off work, go home, go to bed, get up, I check my messages, like she hasn't sent me any messages, so I'm like, okay, I just got up, is everything okay? It's for me to come over because I'm a little bit concerned. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit concerned, that she's kind of like heading towards like some kind of freak out or something. I was kind of a little bit uneasy, so I was kind of thinking to myself, well, I'm just gonna make sure, everything's cool. Am I cool to come over? I want to make sure everything's clear before I pack up all my shit, move it all out to my car, and then drive an hour there, because if I can't be there, it's really going to fuck my day up, because I'm trying to, I'm still in a productive mindset at this point, so I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to fuck that up. Let me just go over there and let me just see what's good first before I do that. So I send her a message, and she doesn't respond, and I send her a message, like, a couple hours later. I'm like, hey, what's up? No response. And she's usually pretty good about responding, so I'm kind of like, this is just sort of feeding into my ideas that something is not quite on the level here. And so then it gets to be like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, listen, okay, if you don't message me like in the next hour, I'm just probably gonna stay home tonight because I haven't heard from you at all, and I want to make and I'm not gonna drive when it's like this late at night, so we can just hang out tomorrow maybe or whatever. It's not a big deal, It's just let me know. Please inform me what's going on whenever you get the chance. So then about 2 o'clock that night, I was still up, I work nights, and so when I have my days off, I did have a tendency to kind of reverse my sleep schedule a little bit, but I was still up. It was 2 in the morning, and I was awake, and then I get a message, and it's all just gibberish. It's like actually like keyboard pounding gibberish, just like ASDF, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, are you feeling okay? Are you okay? Like, I'm kind of a little bit concerned, because like, the last couple days that you've been talking to me, you're like, oh, you're kind of seeming like you're saying some kind of off-the-wall shit, like you're making bad decisions, and all of a sudden you're sending me gibberish. And she just goes ahead and sends me like 2 more lines of gibberish, and I was like, okay, I still have no idea if you're okay or not. I would, can you just let me know if you're okay? And, no more messages the rest of the night, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, fuck, what's... I don't know, like, I'm concerned. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I'm a little bit uneasy about this whole situation. I'm like, because I like, this was cool. This was me hanging out with somebody, and now this person who I've been hanging out with, now they're kind of acting a little bit strange, and it's making me a little bit uncomfortable, and I'm like, kind of like, So the next day, I get a couple more messages from her, and she's like, why didn't you come over? And I'm like, because I messaged you earlier, and I'm like, I want to make sure everything's okay. You've been acting a little bit crazy, and you messaged me outside, and it's all gibberish that I had no idea what the hell this means, and now you're asking me, why didn't I come over? Well, that's kind of why. And she was like, oh, I got sad last night, and I took a bunch of meds, and I think I overdosed, but I'm okay now. And I'm like, so that makes me really like, yeah, I'm not sure if I really want to keep hanging out with you if you are refusing to take your medication, you're refusing to get the treatment that you've been getting for years. Suddenly you decide you don't want it anymore, and yeah, and you're basically trying to fucking kill yourself. I think you should maybe you should just kind of get your situation kind of figured out a little bit. Just kind of. Hey, get it figured out, maybe, get back on your medication, get into your treatment that you need, get in your counseling that you need, and, then, just kind of, let me know when you're feeling a little bit better, and then I'm gonna come over, because I just don't know if I feel comfortable with me kind of, bringing all my shit over, and you're gonna, like, freak out and do some crazy shit, because I don't really want a part of that. Like, I'm just saying, like, to be honest, we've had a good month hanging out a few times, but hey, I'm just gonna give it to you the real deal talk, because that's just how I feel. And so, I mean, I didn't have like her phone number. I mean, maybe if I had like some more personal information about her, I could have like, tried to say, oh, hey, I think this chick needs some help. I think she needs to like go to a clinic. But I mean, I guess I didn't really feel in that position to do that. I mean, yeah, we'd had a good time hanging out and watching cartoons and anime and video games and stuff a few times, but it was just like, I don't know, I kind of stepped back from the situation. And then I'm trying to remember exactly. This was, if you watched my other Eggwars video, I think it was Eggwars 15, where I talked about NoFap, and the first time that I got stalked. That stalking should happen in like June of 2015. And so this whole, like, when this chick was doing this stuff, this was like in May of 2015. So a couple things happened in the next couple of weeks after, she had sent me these gibberish messages. And one of them first was, I'm trying to think. She kind of started sending some more weird shit, but I'm trying to place the timeline specifically, because I know for sure what happened was in the first week of June of 2015, I went to my brother's high school graduation party, and I took a picture there of me, and there was a chick in the background doing like some fist or hand or something, like some hand gesture or something like that. And so what I was at this party. But I was spending most of my time outside, but for whatever reason, I was inside the house, and I was like going to take a selfie for 4chan, because yes, there was a couple times where I got drunk, and I would start threads and be like, yo, dudes, what's going on, dudes? And that's, I'll own up to that. So I'm pretty sure that's what was going on, if I recall correctly. But anyway, so I take a picture like this or whatever, and the chick kind of like photobombs me, and I'm like, haha, it's funny, because, I'm seen as this like dweeb, so to have a chick in the picture, that's funny, so cool, it's fine. So I posted on there, and then it gets like 10 different replies or whatever, like, oh, Eggman's with a girl. And I know that much happened for sure. And I also know that this chick saw that photograph, and I just recall, I don't remember if she sent me this chunk of messages before this photo. I want to say it was the photo that sort of was like the match in the gas trail, so to speak, because all I recall is that she sent me a message on Skype, and she was like, oh, I see how it is. And I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, you've been trying to avoid me because I know you hate me and you want to kill me, so why don't you just fucking come and kill me? And I'm like, I most certainly have no intention of ever doing that, nor have I ever thought that. And if for some reason I was some psycho that did think I was going to do that, I was in your apartment with you alone and like nobody around multiple times now. So you think if I was, if I had some kind of psychotic intentions, which I don't. And she was like, oh, you fucking lying piece of shit. I saw the picture of you with that girl. You fucking lying piece of shit. Why don't you, I don't even want to live anymore. You can come and fucking kill me. I'll give you everything I have. I'll give you all the money I have. Come and fucking kill me right now, you piece of shit. You know where I live. Come and fucking murder me. And I'm like, okay, you know what? At this point, I'm really glad that I never hung out with you again, because you're obviously fucking insane, and I'm sorry that you just chose to randomly just stop doing years of medication and therapy and just let your craziness run wild, because obviously you're fucking insane, and I don't want anything else to do with this. I'm totally done. But that was just her, that was her whole thing, and she ran with it. This woman continued to message me. I think it was on my old Skype that I haven't even logged into since last year now. But the last time I logged into it, which was like last fall, I think, she had still been messaging me until like fall of 2016, saying I was a piece of shit, and saying she hated me, and saying saying all these things about me or whatever, just all this, oh, you're a piece of shit, you were never any good, you're a fucking loser, da-da-da-da-da, all this shit she was sending me. But she sent me like, I can't even remember, because it was basically, I never blocked her. She thought I blocked her because like I wouldn't respond to her like crazy spiels, because I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to try to engage you, you're obviously totally unhinged. So, I just like, I put my Skype on like, where I wasn't getting notifications from it, or whatever. I had it on a lot. It was like I had it turned off a lot, or I'd have it muted or whatever, but it was just continuous for days. And It was some really crazy shit, and it went on for like weeks and months. And I was never really a fan of Skype to begin with anyway, because I would always get added. I think I've mentioned this before at some point, but I would get added to so many group chats in my 4chan heyday of like that 12-month periods, especially where I was like Eggmanning it up every single day. I would get added to these group chats where it was just like hundreds of messages a second, and I just couldn't even, there's no way I'm going to keep up with it, but people would just be like, oh, what's Eggman Skype? Boom. Hey, look, it's Eggman, guys. Hey, look, it's Eggman. I'm like, oh, hey, guys, what's up? And then it would just be like endless, like, this guy would be like, oh, it's really him, I'm adding to this chat. Oh, it's really him, I'm adding to this chat. And then da-da-da-da-da, and it would just go on forever. Now I haven't logged into it. I think it got like, something happened to it. I don't remember. There was like, they had like some kind of leak of the password. They reset it and sent me some temporary password or something. I don't know. I don't care to log into it ever again, so it's not really a big deal to me. But, yeah, it was fucking crazy. But then, this leads into this whole stalking incident because, I was at this chick's apartment and my phone was left out, at times where she would have been able to, I didn't think anything of it. I'd be like checking something on my phone, be like, oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, set my phone down and go to the bathroom. So like she could have, in theory, looked at my phone and then known where I lived because she wouldn't have otherwise known where I lived. And then so cue the stalking shit in June where this person's using a female yandere anime female pictures and talking like they're a female and saying, Eggman, I'm gonna come to your house and kill you. I know where you live, da 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 da, and it made me think in a way, like I felt in a way that this was probably related. Like I never had a confirmation of that, and hopefully I never will. I don't think this chick, I don't think has any idea about anything I am anymore, as far as I'm aware. But, it was wild, and I guess I didn't really fill a full episode of crazy chick who I met up with that turned even crazier on me. So let me see here. What else is a good time that I interact with a chick? Well, this isn't really worthy of a full episode, but there was another chick that happened, and it was actually before the cuckening, I think. There was a chick named Wendy. She was this Mexican chick named Wendy, and she was from, no, I want to say she was from Nevada, I think. I think she was from Nevada. But anyways, she was a chick named Wendy, and she messaged me one time, or she added me at some point, and she was like, oh, hey, I'm a big fan, this was like, I wasn't even hardly doing a YouTube anything at that time. I probably had maybe like 10 videos ever. It was all 4chan shit. And she was like, oh, you're a trip fag on 4chan? Ooh, well, I think you're really cute, actually, and, I think we should meet up sometime. If you ever come down to Nevada, I live in this, she, like, told me the town she lived in, and she was like, oh, yeah, we should, if you ever come down here, I'd really like to meet you. I'm really interested. And so, of course, me being me, I'm like, okay, let's, that sounds cool. So we got to talking, and we talked for, I'm trying to think of how long it was, because we stopped talking in, like, the very beginning of March, I'm pretty sure, if I recall that correctly. My dates are a little screwy sometimes. So we talked for, like, a couple months, probably, on a fairly regular basis. And, it was pretty legit because she wrote my name on her titties, and so I'm like, that's cool. I remember it was for Valentine's Day. For Valentine's Day of 2015, she wrote my name on her breasts and sent me a picture of that, which I no longer have, unfortunately. It was a pretty nice picture, and she sent me some picture one time where it was like, she never wanted to send like anything too racy, so like she sent me one time, she had like some lace underwear on or something, so I was like, that's pretty cool. And I don't know, like, she was, she was like a small, short, sort of petite, kind of shy, awkward girl, and I was like, hey, you know what? That's kind of my thing. I like girls who are plain. I like plain, kind of autistic, shy, socially dysfunctional women, and who just have a lot of, who are very awkward. And I don't know, it's just kind of what I like. So I'm like, hey, it seemed pretty legit. So we'd been talking, and I was like, hey, everything was going pretty good. And then I remember, just out of the blue, essentially like in mid-conversation that I was having with her, she just started deleting me and blocking me from everything. And I was very hurt. I was like, I don't know, I don't understand why. What's going on? I don't get it. What the hell's going on? Well, what I'd come to find out is that her whole thing was, she would look for visible 4chan men, like men who she could like, that had a name and a face and that she could get in contact with. She'd done it to another guy right before she started talking to me. She had been talking to this guy for like 6 months and they were going to date and all this different stuff. And then like the last week that they talked, she started talking to me. Then, once she kind of latched and cemented contact with me, she cut the old guy off, blocked him, everything. And so when she did it to me, then I mentioned it on 4chan. I was like, oh yeah, this chick named Wendy. And all of a sudden the guy's like, oh shit, the Mexican Wendy from Nevada. Oh yeah, that was her. Oh shit. Yeah. Whoa, dude. Me too. And, there's a lot of chicks out there like that, which is why I find it to be, even to this day, like there's girls who, I don't even know, man, because I don't even do 4chan like that heavy anymore. Obviously, I'm more about YouTube. I like Twitter. That's kind of what I'm on these days. But I'll have chicks who will just be like, they come from like Omegle or they go on like Omegle, 4chan Omegle or something, and people start paying attention to them, and then they're like, ooh, I like when a lot of guys pay attention to me. So then they start trying to find out like all the, I'm still like a name that comes up for whatever reason, I don't know why, just, I haven't been on there in years, but it still comes up, and then they get my information of, like, through YouTube or whatever the case is, and add me, and they're like, ooh, I'm ready for my attention now. I like to have 10 different guys that are all talking to me at the same time that are going to pay me a lot of attention. So, these 4chan chicks, man, don't get caught up with them. They're kooky, they're loony. But, if you're, hey, I'm still down to hang out and watch anime and play video games with anybody, but hey, just don't murder me or ask me to murder you, and we're all gravy, we're all chill, everything's good, But I think that's about, as far as the story goes. But yeah, it was pretty much just what it was. The first person who I really hung out with more than once from 4chan, I think she is the one. I'm pretty sure, cause, even now, really, who have I hung out with more than once, Pizza, hang out with fairly regularly, but, and there's some other people around that I could probably hang out with more, but, that was kind of my first experience, but it did not dissuade me because, hey, what's better in life to kind of have a boring existence where you're just, like, floating around and being boring and bored, or, have some people just kind of go psychotic on you every now and then and threaten, loss of life, and it's like, hey, we keep it interesting, we keep it fresh and flashy and cool, yeah. Well, let me see here. I think that's probably about all that I have for you today, my friends. So I do appreciate you having tuned in for another episode of Eggwars. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. Me personally, what's my favorite Thanksgiving dish? I hear y'all in the Southeast eat mac and cheese on Thanksgiving. I love me some mac and cheese. We don't do that where I'm from. Where I'm from, stuffing is probably my favorite Thanksgiving dish. I don't have a problem eating cranberry sauce out of a can. That's just me. I think that it's like cranberry, it's like the cranberry version of applesauce, which makes sense because they're both sauce. I don't know. It's just, I like it. So don't judge me. Don't judge me for liking, cheap cranberry sauce, okay? If you make it the old-fashioned style with the fucking sugar and you heat up real cranberries and you mash it all, that's delicious. That's fantastic. That's world-class. But every now and then I like something, I like the old-fashioned, cheap shit too. So, hey, that's just my opinion. A little turkey, a little ham, some mashed potatoes and gravy, pumpkin pie with the Ready Whip. Yeah, buddy, I am looking forward to continuing to be a fat piece of shit today and make myself very tired from eating a lot of food. And I hope you do as well, my friends. And love to all of you. Blessings to all you and your families on this day. And we'll see you next time, so take it easy, guys.